life makes no sense. You're on a planet right now. You're on a space rock floating in nothingness, infinite nothingness, and the infinite nothingness is expanding. That means endlessness is getting bigger. That makes no sense.
Hello.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Consistently Inconsistent right here on JG's Lounge. And guess what? It has been pretty inconsistent. I think our last show was like 2 weeks ago when I was half asleep, and Evolution had to bring me back, but it didn't really work. I just kind of faded. I faded, man. I get so busy and so backed up with all these projects and these ideas. And Evolution, you know this. Brofiki, you know this. We all, I think our creative minds kind of just sometimes get the best of us. And occasionally you just, your body's like, nope, you're shutting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But for those of you who tune into what we do and enjoy this show, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that follows JG's Lounge as it grows. This network has done a lot of big things, especially recently with our growth on Facebook. Our views have climbed, and it's all because of you guys. So I want to first thank all of you for all of your support. Evolution, man, how you doing tonight?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I could be better in the lower back, but that'll work itself out. But yeah, man, life is good. Got a lot going on as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely need to wrap up a bunch of things so I can start a bunch of new things. And that's the effort right now. So got a lot stacked up that I need to release. And as soon as I figure out this new platform, I'm going to be unloading like a dog on steam engine.
This is going to happen, and it's going to be fantastic, my friend. We got you set up. You're set up now. We just got to teach you. It's just like StreamYard. We just got to reteach.
That's fine. I'm all good with that.
And for everybody that knows Consistently Inconsistent is usually just me and Evolution, but tonight we decided to bring on a guest.
Yeah.
And he has no idea what he's gotten himself into.
I have no idea.
But Brofiki, man, you have been on here many times. You're a part of JG's Lounge. How you doing this evening?
I'm well. That's my favorite response now, actually. When people ask me is how I'm doing, I say, well, I'm doing well.
I think my favorite response that we've had, and I think you were part of this, it was on our In the Lounge one, was when Darren Dowler said, if I was any better, I'd be you.
Huh, nice.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and I loved that answer.
That was good. Yeah. No, I'm good. We just went to an art installation similar to Meow Wolf. Here in Salt Lake City. It actually opened last night. It's called Dreamscapes. So my son and I just went to that. I just got some art that was really cool. Just supporting some of the artists, like this right here. Like it's like really cool drawing. I really liked.
That does look really good, actually.
Yeah. So like this is an art print, and I got a sticker, and then yeah, it's cool.
Jack seems to really be into that stuff. Jack's really into that stuff too, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So I got this key, and it's got a butterfly wing dried in it, and it's my favorite insect. So it's a Madagascar daytime moth. So it's not a butterfly.
Oh, it's a moth.
So yeah, so there's a piece of it. Gosh, my beard's so long. But yeah, there's a piece of it in this key, and I love keys. Nice. So I got that to support the artist. So yeah, I'm doing well, man. We had fun. He's doing his thing. We're doing our thing. I was like, shoot, I'm gonna do that. So I'm doing well, man. Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad. So what happened is Evolution was like, hey, I want to do a show where we co-host together, kind of like you and I did. We're like, hey, we got to do something together. So I was like, dude, I could do something, but it's not going to be consistent. And so we came up with the idea of Consistently Inconsistent. And I wanted to blend sort of kind of my Stardom vibe with kind of Evolution's That's Life. So what we decided to do is we've came up with life idioms as the topics for these episodes. So each episode, him and I share 3 life idioms, and we discuss our perceptions of those idioms. And that's what we're getting into tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Hey man, I've been married a few times. Literally. Literally. So
So
It'll be interesting to see
your
uh,
perspective for sure.
Burficki's response on some of these.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too, man. Hey, so who started off last time? I don't remember if it was you.
I did. I think it's your turn.
This time I'm starting. Okay, so my first life idiom for this evening is weather the storm.
grab the keys out of the door.
The history kind of behind the idea of weather the storm is a lot of ships and sailors kind of having
Yeah.
traveling between countries with
Mhm.
cargo and making it through those treacherous weather conditions.
Mhm.
But that's really kind of translated into a lot of life and everything we do now. I think that there's a lot of struggles and a lot of things that we as humans have to kind of overcome, which is what weathering the storm means, kind of getting through the negative or finding the positive through the negative so that you can excel. That's kind of where my mindset is on it. Evolution, let's get your side, and then we'll ask our guest what he thinks.
Okay. I usually try to go a different angle than jukebox. So this one's kind of difficult to do that because of what it really means. But I would take a stab at it and do it like this. Weather the storm can be, like you said, not applied to just the weather, but life situations. And to me, it's just like the unexpected situations that hit you that are really not comfortable situations. They're like, I ain't gonna say catastrophic, but they're challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to deal with something or go through something, some type of process in order to get through this situation. It could be something like a court situation or a relationship situation. It could be uh, even a job situation. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, it hits you from the blind side.
Yeah,
You
my
may
way.
you may even see it coming, but it comes so fast that you have to make many adjustments in order to get through it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with that.
I agree. What do you think, Profiki?
All right, I'm gonna come at a completely different angle.
Love it.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So I had a wedding ring that was made out of old whiskey barrel wood on the inside, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was weathered. It means it was seasoned, right? So when it's weather your storm, you are the storm. Okay, so season
Okay.
your storm, you are the storm, right? So to me, it's like you need to be seasoned. You gotta like go through life and you got to season the storm that you bring because your energy is that storm. Whenever I meet anyone, they're just like, whoa, because we all bring a different energy about it. We're all a storm. What are we? Are we a geothermal storm? Are we a hurricane? Are we a tornado? Like, doesn't matter. So it's kind of like to be seasoned yourself, you need to be experiencing life to the point to where like you understand the storm and the energy that you bring. So when somebody says weather your storm, it's like, yes, that's personal, not weather the storm, weather your storm. That's kind of how I look at it, right? So
I like
you
that.
are the storm. Yeah.
I like that aspect of it. Actually, that's
Heck
great.
yeah, that was really nice.
All right, what you got, Evolution? What
Well,
you got next?
I'm actually still kind of stuck on Brofiki.
No, break. Yeah.
Because there's I can't remember where I seen this. It might have been on Facebook. There's people have their little images that they put as their Facebook
Yeah.
deal, and I think I saw one that says "I am the storm." That was it has some type of passage on it, but that was the last passage that kind of stuck out as Brofiki was talking. So I can definitely connect with that. So
Yeah, it's like the song in Rocky where it's like "I have the tiger." It's like "I am the tiger."
yeah,
Right.
Uh-huh.
You know, "I have the dragon." I am the eye, like the all-seeing eye. Like
Right.
I am that. I've got two of them. Like
Right.
Justin,
I
thanks for
actually-
tuning in tonight. Appreciate you.
So-
Weathering the storm, I love the way that you took that, bro. Figgy. Weather being your storm and controlling the weather is such an amazing way to perceive that statement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Brofiki does, man.
You're like, this is yellow, and I'm like, what is yellow to you? That would be the favorite color. Like, that's number 9. I'm just kidding.
Right. So,
Justin, thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
sweet. You ready for mine?
Bring it on. Let's go, Evolution. What you got?
Okay, so mine is actions speak louder than words. It's kind of a simple, straight to the point saying, but it does mean a lot. I'm sure we can be able to come up with
Mhm.
3 different angles, but the angle I'm gonna go is, basically, people say a lot of things today. People have always said a lot of things, but their actions most of the time don't line up with the things that they say. Um, unless they're being 100% truthful about their statements, or um, which still can be misunderstood if you're the person on the other side, right?
Right.
Depending on what their expression is. So for me, uh, I've become to pay attention to people's actions more than I pay attention to their words, especially when I'm talking to certain individuals, because you know you just come to know a person when you deal with them on a regular
Right.
basis, and you figure out through those experiences and those communications that, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I see what you're doing.
Right.
You
Totally
know what I mean?
different things. Yeah.
So that's
Right.
kind of my angle on this.
Okay. All right. I'd like to take this from a parent aspect.
Okay.
I think that there is a point where we have to discipline our children.
Mhm.
Not necessarily. I'm not talking about abusing your child or spanking your child. I'm saying disciplining and enforcing. If you ask your child to do something, and you say, oh, okay, there's going to be some repercussions, whether it's you take away their PlayStation or you're gonna, whatever it is. You have to stand by that, because it comes from a kid's eye view as well. That if you tell them you're going to do something and then they don't do what you asked and you don't follow through, then your actions are not speaking to them at all. That's not resonating with them. So as a parent, actions speak louder to words means a lot when you're projecting that onto your youth, because them growing up and getting into our lifestyles and becoming those parents that we are, if they lack that knowledge and that ability to understand that something needs to be done with, or else there will be a disciplinary action, I think it's going to affect their growth as a human being.
Mhm.
What you got, Rafiki?
Hey, can I say interject real quick before you go
Yeah.
there?
No.
Sorry, bro, Fiki. Just going on what you're saying. This idea popped in my head. So children are really, really good at reading their parents, right?
Mhm.
So in my experience as a parent, like when I'll go back in the past when my ex would tell my kids to do something, they didn't really respond to that, right? But when she said, "I'm gonna tell your dad," then you know what I'm saying. Then she got the response, because I guess when I say something, it got to be a few seconds before it happens, right? and with her, at the time, she was, not direct, I guess, or the what do you call it? The force behind the words wasn't there. You know what I mean? Not that I'm a meanie, you know what I mean? But it's just that I mean what I say, right? So I just wanted to bring that to you. Go ahead, Brofiki.
All right. So most people, I'd say the majority, when you say actions speak louder than words, it's mostly alluding to the idea that your actions aren't matching your words in a negative way, meaning like I love you, but then your actions show that it doesn't. So this is something I'm experiencing right now is the opposite, where somebody's like, I can't be with you. I'm not good for you. You're not good for me. But then they're showing me unconditional love through their actions. So it's interesting. So if you look at it from the opposite angle, where their actions not matching their words in a positive way and flipping it is what I've been experiencing lately. So it's like, I don't support you, but then you're wearing a shirt that is supporting them because you're supporting their business, not the person, right? So you're still supporting the person, even though I don't support that person, you know? So that's kind of actions not matching their words. But to take it out of context, right? Let's say I speak a different language, right? Je ne parle français, mais je peux parler l'anglais quelquefois, mais je peux parler français aussi. So I have to use my hands, right? So in the military, when you're like, you know, you got your battle buddy, right? You're like, don't do that, right? Or you're like, you know, so sometimes you have to use body language, and that's an action. So I would say that sometimes your actions can speak louder than words in a positive way, and they can speak louder than words in a negative way. So you have a false positive, right? And you have a true negative. And that I was trying to look that up real quick. It's part of Skinner's box theory in psychology, where you have a double negative is a positive, right? Where you're like, don't do that, and then you don't do that, but then you go and do what you told them not to do from a parent's standpoint. I guess it that way, right? So, and then from a personal aspect, where you're like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna drink. I don't drink alcohol, and here I am. I'm just like, I'm gonna drink a glass of wine. So that's my take on actions speak louder than words. Is that a positive or a negative thing for you? And
actually,
why?
the way you broke it down, heck, it could be both.
That's
But most of my experiences have been negative. You know what I mean? So as I was explaining earlier, uh, you know, when someone says something and their actions are saying something else, usually it's a negative deal, or you feel like you're being lied to because the actions are not matching the words. But I want to highlight a couple of things that you said before you take off with that, Jubats. Hopefully, you won't forget your thought process. Rafiki, when you started doing the sign language, like using the military, for example, that even expresses how more powerful actions are versus words. Because in those cases, there probably aren't any words at all. You know what I mean? It's like you're talking to someone and they're standing in front of you, and they can't see behind themselves, nor can you. But if they do like this over your shoulder, and they're like, you know what I mean? You're going to turn around or you're going to take off. you know.
Yeah.
So that's definitely actions being more powerful than words, and when words aren't even present. And then your other example, it's kind of like a do as I say, not as I do, when it comes to parents not doing what they tell their children to do. So I thought that was kind of funny, actually, because I've been caught in that a couple times, only a couple times, just a couple times. Because I'm dad, I can do things, you know, that you can't. Because one, I'm older than you, and two, I'm trying to guide you the right way. So don't do that. Anyway.
It's like I tell my kids like not to ever start vaping or smoking. I even tell younger kids, but like I vape 24/7 because I love it. But that's why I'm like, don't do this. This is so addicting, and you're gonna spend so much money. So I make myself keep all of them when they die. So I have like a whole shelf to show like the lifeline of like, at what point am I going to visibly see that I need to stop doing this?
Wow.
That's what I decided to do. And so that's how I'm going to quit, is by visibly seeing how much money I've wasted and how many things I've put in my lungs. So that's the only way I'll quit or start to quit, is when I get to that point where I'm like, I've done too much.
Nice. That probably is surprising you already. I'm thinking. No.
No, apparently they're being banned and outlawed anyway. So I've just been enjoying it. Like, to be honest, like I just go, I went and I bought a box of them, like a whole case.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well, if they're going out, like I'm going to stock up because these are going to be worth a lot on like eBay or something.
Go ahead,
Don't tell
Jukebox.
anyone. Yeah,
Right?
go ahead, Jude.
Are you there? I can't hear you.
You're muted. Nope. Is it the
Ooh.
microphone?
Uh-oh.
He'll come back.
Well, there you go. Actions speak louder than words. Jukebox wanted to just make that more relevant, I guess.
Yeah, we literally can't. We're like, nope. Yeah, see, perfect example.
Yeah.
He's like really taking production and directing to the next level, man. Like,
Yes, he is.
encore.
Award-winning performance there.
He was just there. Unplug your mic and plug it back in. That's usually what a woman would say, right? Have you plugged it in? Have you checked the batteries?
Hello.
There you go.
Hello.
There he's
Hello.
back. He's back.
Yes. Oh my God, it worked. I'm gonna make this work. Here we go. We good?
All
Is
right.
everybody good?
Hey, you
I
know,
must have bumped a quarter or something.
way to
Yeah,
take the
whatever.
example to the
Yeah.
extreme, right? Way to take the example to the extreme.
Well, hey, you
He's
know
like,
what?
hold on, guys, I got this.
Evolution. At least you had somebody to talk to.
Right? I wasn't by myself.
Oh.
All right.
Internet
All right.
hugs for both y'all.
Okay. The next one I have for tonight is don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Did you have anything to
Ooh.
elaborate on the last one?
Yes, but no. It's not enough. I mean, I was going to kind of touch on religion and kind of that aspect of it
Okay.
being like a negative, like forceful aspect to it, but I'm not going to dive into that. I'm not.
I
I'm
would
just not gonna.
actually like to hear that.
So I think that, okay, actions speak louder than words. When it comes from like a religious standpoint, I am fine with somebody voicing, but when they're forceful on something or they're trying to get you to be something that you just obviously don't want to be, like I am completely respectful of people who are committed to their beliefs, but I think that there is a point where people get so invested into their religion and their belief that they feel like they have to force or take action to bring more people to them.
Hmm.
You know, I think there's one thing to voice it and have your voice be heard, but when it gets to a point where your actions are now infiltrating, I guess would be a way, somebody's bubble or their space,
Mhm.
that's taking it too far.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There's
When-
nothing wrong with preaching your message. Don't get me
No,
wrong. I am
true.
perfectly okay with hearing your views on life and your perception of it. But if you are trying to force that on me and taking that action, I don't have. I do not respect that. I do not
I don't support
appreciate
that.
that.
I'm
Absolutely.
with you on that.
But
Absolutely.
that's kind of the last thing I wanted to say on that one.
I like that. I like that. I'm
Thank
glad you did.
So
Okay.
so the next one's the don't count your chickens before they hatch. This goes back pretty far, and it's always had the same meaning. You know, don't jump the gun and don't go after something without having like a backup plan. Like for example, when it comes to having a career choice, you know, making sure you have a backup for if this falls through, or you know, have more than one option rather than just, you know what, I'm going to quit this job, but it's not where I'll find something else. You know, that's not. I think that kind of mindset is, especially in our youth today, is so plenty because you have social media. There's a lot of youth out there making money on social media and stuff. But what happens when TikTok gets banned, or if it gets banned, and all these kids that were making 3 times my wage don't even know how to change a trash can and have to go find a job?
Right.
You know, I think that there needs to be a backup plan for everybody. I think that everybody needs to have these options. and you can't just settle for what is. You need to look for the next step.
Okay.
Okay.
That's kind of what I think of with don't count your chickens before they hatch, because you see a lot of people that'll work. I've interviewed and hired people that have had 9 jobs and they're 20 years old, and it's
Wow.
like, I mean, how do you do that? Like,
Mhm.
what is your mindset behind that?
Right.
What you got?
Well, before I go into mine, I want to tell Rafiki another unique thing about what we do with this show, Inconsistently Consistent, is Jukebox has his 3 idioms, and I have my 3. But somehow, some way, every single time that we do this show, they start to blend together at some
They
point.
line up, and I don't
Yeah.
know why, but it does
Yeah,
every time.
it's crazy how that happens. But we don't plan it. We don't even get together on what we're doing, and it just works out, man. So, don't count your chickens before they hatch. To me, that's like spending your winnings on a lottery ticket before you buy it, right? You like that?
If you know somebody that's done that, please introduce them to me.
No, the kicker is the people that do win the lottery, for some reason, they end up spending way more than what they've won
Yeah.
because they just don't budget the proper way because they're not used to that type of that amount of funds to be working with. But yeah, to me, it's like before people know the end result of something, they jump in full swing in anticipation that that's going to actually happen, which you can't do. You shouldn't write checks on a paycheck that hadn't showed up yet into your bank account.
What's
right?
a check?
Are you trying to date? Are you trying to date me? Are you saying I'm old right now?
No, you can still order checks at Costco.com.
Yes, that's right. You can.
Hey, I still
You
pay my
can.
mortgage with the check. I still
Yeah.
pay
Listen,
my
you
mortgage with the check.
just need an account number. You can have checks created for you, even for a Venmo account. I know
Yeah.
because I did it.
Yep.
See, there you go.
They still
Jukebox.
exist.
There's still
Hey,
a
you know what?
fountain for them.
Evolution got a good laugh out of it, and that's what matters to me. Okay.
That was good. I was just sitting here listening. I was like, oh, he did do that.
Yeah, he did. So
Yeah.
yeah, basically, you don't want to jump into something before the completion part is already final and resolved, which is what a lot of people do. You can't. I mean, I'm trying to think of a better example. I think I gave some good examples.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
So-
I'll add one to yours real quick while you're in mid whatever. It's like when you apply for a job that you think you're going to get in the pay raise, and so then you go and you get a new car or an auto loan
Mhm.
or a house. So I think that's what you're alluding to. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I understand then. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, we're right on point with that, and that's exactly where I was going with it. So don't do that.
Don't do it.
What do you got, Rafiki?
You're gonna hate me. Both of you are gonna hate me.
That's
Chickens don't hatch. The phrase is "Don't count your chickens before they hatch," but chickens don't hatch eggs. And so if you're saying don't count your eggs, and this is a real thing that happened at my mother's house because
That's
my
not what the
mother
phrase is, though. Okay, that's not
I
the
know.
phrase.
But here's the thing: my mother has a lot of chickens, right? She's got 200 birds, and you know this.
Mhm.
But she also has ducks and she's got geese, and
Uh-huh.
so sometimes ducks will hatch out of the eggs, whatever, because they're all together. So you can't count if they're going to be chickens or not, because one might be a duck, one might be a goose. You don't know if they're
Mhm.
all together. So that's a real thing I experienced in 2022. Is I was like, oh shit, I thought these were chickens. They're fucking goose. So you really can't, but you can count on, like, again, a negative perception or mindset of not having enough chickens. Like you're counting on 5 and
Mhm.
only 3 of them live. And I'm
Mhm.
saying if you're counting on 3 but 6 survive, shit, yeah. Because then you have more than what you need. And that's how I look at life, is that positive. Like I'm a hyper optimist. I don't mean to be, but like right now, I don't just have one opportunity that's like worth, my future. I have 5 of them.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
based on the same amount of work and energy that I've done and put into multiple people, right? Because that's how I do it, is I pour my time and energy into so many different facets and hoping that one works out. But what if 4 of them work out at the same time
Right.
and then they
Mhm.
work together? So that's another reason, is like, don't count on one thing, because maybe 5 things will work out. And so if you just dive into one thing and you're like, you apply for 5 jobs, right? And you're counting on one and you get a job offer. So you accept that first job, but this one's better. So,
Mhm.
and this happened to me in 2021 where I got a job and it was like for 45K a year.
Mhm.
And then I accepted it, but it didn't start for 4 months. Okay. But then I got
Oh.
offered a different job the next week for 60K, and that started a month out. And then I accepted that job, right? And then I waited another 2 weeks and I got another job offer for 80K, and that started the next week. And so I took the 80K job working from home. A month
Mhm.
later, the 60K started from home. So I was making 140K a year working 2 at-home jobs
Nice.
in
My
2022.
biggest,
So that's what
if
I
I
mean.
can throw, I want to throw 2 cents in on that,
Please
Mhm.
do.
because there are times where people will jump the gun and take the job that offers the better pay, but not the better benefits. So in the
Yes,
Okay.
but
long
what's
term,
important to you?
that's what matters. Do you want a retirement? Do you want a retirement fund, or do you just want to have the money now and spend it day by day? I
Instant
think that
gratification.
it depends. It just depends on the person and how you look at it.
I agree.
I don't disagree with you what you said at all. I want to throw that in there for the people that are listening or watching. Sometimes, and I've seen it happen more than once, if somebody will leave a job that has a great opportunity in the long run
Mm,
for something that at the now offers them more,
Mhm.
but
I
in the
agree.
long term doesn't.
Okay, so I
Uh,
want to ask
Go ahead. Go ahead.
real quick. So this is kind of like playing the long game. So I'm a long-term investment just for humans in general, and Juke knows this firsthand. People come into my life and they're just like, "Ooh, you can do all these things right now," and I'm like, "Yes," and they're just focused on the one thing that they want to do with me,
Mhm.
right? But I could do so much more, but because people want me to help them with what they're creating, I'm like, "Do you know what I'm creating?" They don't even care. So it's, are you a long-term investor, or are you just a consumer that's buying something now? I have a need or a desire now, versus I want to invest. And I said, I'm not a transaction anymore. I am an investment. That's when you got to look at it. Is a transaction a paycheck that's higher, where I'm going to spend 40 hours a week for a higher number, or am I going to invest in the long term and then you watch, that just raise over time? Of value is, how do you value your time, is a question that I was asked not too long ago. So I figured out how much I'm worth an hour, and it's outrageous.
Right.
Nice. I'm gonna go back
Go
to
ahead.
a few things that was said. Um, I believe by both of you. I'll start with Jukebox. You mentioned benefits versus money. Uh, when you said that, I immediately thought about a person who's single or getting started with life
Mm,
versus a family person. You know what I'm saying? So a person with a family is going to naturally gravitate towards benefits more than money. They're both important, don't get me wrong, but they're going to also want good benefits to take care of health needs for like children themselves or whoever.
Right.
Maybe it may be a grandparent uh, or a spouse. People have issues, but that's just kind of my take on that. And then uh, Rafiki mentioned a couple things, transaction versus investments, which I thought was a great way to put that. When you break it down like that, uh, am I a transaction person or am I an investment person? That's beautiful, man, because most of society are transaction people. You know what I mean? And the
Right.
people who are business owners and wealthy are investment people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think you're onto something. I'll probably get into that later on another podcast show.
yeah, yeah, you should. We
Yes.
should, yeah. And while we were working on this, when you guys are done with your 3, I have 1 or 2.
That's no. I was gonna offer you the opportunity at the end.
Thank you.
I didn't want to tell you to decide because we've done a few of these episodes, and I didn't want you to do something we've already done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
I've never listened to them. I apologize.
No,
for
it's
not
fine.
doing that.
And actually, I will share this list with you because I would
Please
love
do.
to actually have you on more of these.
Heck yeah, because you're doing great. I love it.
Thank you. So just to share something off topic, if we can just side tangent for a second.
Sure.
I guess.
So, and I'll keep it brief. I was prompted a few days ago to start sharing more of who I am and my life. And it's not that I haven't wanted to or that I didn't have the desire to. I needed somebody to be like, you need to tell your story and you need to share more of what you know now. And so I did that the other day. So yes, you did. And so now I'm on TikTok lives and I'm joining more podcasts because I've learned, I mean, I hate to say this because it's kind of like egoic, but I've learned everything I need to learn to start teaching. And I don't have to be a perfectionist. I don't have to be a master, but I know enough. And I'm about to turn 37 next month, actually. So
is that enough? Are you calling me old? Are you doing it too?
What I'm saying is when you're on the 37th year of life, this goes back to my studies and things that I've done, is when you're about to finish your 37th year of life. So that's the age of 36. When, that's your 37th year of life. That's when it's time for you to start speaking and sharing your knowledge with the world. And although I've done it bits and pieces, now it's like I'm supposed to go into full time. Like, yo, like this is what you need to do and how to do it. Before I would like gatekeep and kind of keep things. So I was like, oh, people are going to steal my ideas. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, nope, I'm going to talk about it and people are going to want to help me create that. And I don't need to worry about money because that will happen on its own.
Exactly.
Like the right people that come to me and they're just like, yo, let's do this thing. And then we end up making money. I really don't care. Like if JG's network makes money or like, this channel, right? If he makes $100,000 from this, I know Juke one day is going to send me a gift in the mail, and it might be like $10 or $100, or he might send me a check for $1,000. Or like
if it's that much money,
I'm just saying. But I know that
I'll have Stan write you a check because I don't know what those are.
Everyone else in the world that if I had an idea that I gave someone that made him $1 million, I know that it will come back to me. I know it will. So I never have to be like, oh, I need to trademark that or copyright that. But I've seen that happen so many times that I've been scared. Now I'm like, I don't care. And it was 2 people that I've been working with lately. That's why I went to Dreamscapes. I was actually with the director over the whole entire art gallery last week, and we were installing a security door on the, whatever. And that's when I realized, and they're just like, listen, I don't want to copyright this. I don't want this to be anything. Just share it. So that's why I'm here. So thank you.
Yeah.
Money in the bag. Hey, Justin, would you like to jump on for the last 20 minutes of this? You're welcome to. I can send you a link. But yeah, no, you're right. And it is. It's all about, helping each other grow and get our message out there. And I've talked to many people. It's about the passion. It's not about the money. I've had people reach out to me and go, hey, I could really use help. I got this idea. I think it's going to make a ton of money. No, I'm sorry. I'm not interested. I don't want that to be the reason why you're doing it, because the money's going to come if your passion shows. And if you have the drive to do what you want to do. That's like counting the chickens that don't hatch before they hatch. Is assuming that the money's just going to be there. You need to have the passion to do it. So, hey, he said he'll come on in 5 minutes. Hey, I'll send you a link here in just a second. I think we got like 2 more to go. We got like 2 more to go, anyways. So you're welcome to join in.
Plus, Brofiki has one.
And Brofiki's. This might be like an hour and a half show.
Heck yeah.
I do.
All right. So, I'm gonna jump back to the subject because I want to highlight the other thing that Brofiki said that I thought was genius. He said you can have you don't know if your eggs are going to be, or your chickens are going to be ducks or geese, right?
Yeah. So that happened to me. That's a real thing.
Heck yeah, so you can plan for things to go a certain way, or you can expect things to go a certain way, and the turnout can be totally different than what you thought it was going to be. Like, for instance, that $80,000 job could have been a crappy job that wanted too much of your life. You know what I mean? It could have been way too demanding. the workload could have been ridiculous. It could have took your nights, your weekends, and your holidays. So you have to prepare for those type of things as well. Um,
Yeah.
so that's all I have to say on that.
That's good.
Thank you.
That dragged out. That was good.
Heck yeah,
That was a good one.
Is it my next one?
I believe it is your turn, my friend.
Yes.
Sweet. Go back to the drawing board.
I
is
saw
my
that
next-
earlier and I almost picked it. I'm glad I didn't.
Yes. Go back to the drawing board. I always think about if at first you don't succeed, try again. But this one here, you can set goals. You can make goals all day. You can have a plan and another plan and a secondary and third, so on and so forth. But if your initial plan that probably leads to those other plans or those other goals doesn't work, it fails drastically, or it just becomes too much. Let's say, for instance, you have 10 grand to invest, and once you get going on this goal, you find out that there's some hidden fees that you weren't aware of that cranks that up to 30 grand, right?
Yeah.
So you have to go back to the drawing board because it's over exceeding what you had to put into it comfortably. That's kind of what I got from go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And this can be in just about any background.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the idea that I wanted to stress on that.
Let's let Brofiki go before me this time. I mean, I already
Okay.
got an answer, but we'll give Brofiki the platform here.
Sure.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, for one, not everyone's an artist, so there's not a drawing board. There might be a notebook. This is my, just my idea of this.
God
So-
damn it! Without the eggs that
What?
don't
What do you
hatch
mean?
chickens.
Bro, Vicky,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah,
talking about? What do you mean?
Exactly.
You
right?
both this whole time have been writing down notes as we've been doing this.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the Virgo rising in me, right? I'm analytical. I've got the green going. Anyway, we'll get to that. This is something different. Okay, so go back to the drawing board. No, I disagree. Thomas Edison wanted to create a light bulb, period. He tried 99 times, and on the 100th one, as an example, he got it. He didn't go back to the drawing board. He found ways that it did not work.
Mhm.
So it's if at first you don't succeed, try again. I agree with you, right?
Yes,
It's
but you're
because-
building that drawing board with those failures.
Yeah, but you're not erasing the original theory. Okay, you add on to it, right? So for
Okay.
instance, right? So Brad, our friend Brad Draper,
Right.
I could say that now, pluralized, because he's your friend too.
Yes.
He used to say, set the plan, execute, win. And he had that as his motto and
Mhm.
for so many years. But then he added on to it, right? So for me, it was E multiplied by T equals A. But I didn't have E multiplied by T to the N plus or minus 1 equals A. I had to add that in later. Because then I realized to the degree something is. And so it's not erasing the original equation or desire. Like you want to have a family, right? I got married when I was 19. Okay. I always wanted to have a family. Well, I had a divorce. So do I scratch the idea of having a family? No, I got married again. That didn't work. Scratch that. I still want a family, right? So that's the idea. Like I still want to have a home. Do I want to have a mortgage though? No, because I like moving. I like traveling. So
Mhm.
it's the same idea of the consensus that's agnostic, that is an intangible idea that you don't erase. Like if you have a desire, that desire never goes away until you're satisfied. And at what point are you satisfied? Then you don't have the desire anymore because you're successful. So when you have a desire, you have success, you have satisfaction, period. But that original desire never goes away.
Right.
But
and,
you
and
have go ahead. Go ahead.
I wasn't meaning that you totally scratch it, but you have to basically go back to the drawing board to
Somebody-
make your adjustments
You
because
eat what you need.
because
Whatever.
I was just saying you go back to the drawing board because clearly a 10 grand investment is totally different than a 30 grand investment. So you have to find a happy medium or
Yeah.
Well,
So,
and Bro Fiki, I know you well enough to know that you have plenty of boards with plans all over them.
it depends. Yeah, I do, but they're different. Yes, I do, but I only go back to the drawing board to check mark something, like cross it off as though it's completed, or to add to it. I never just erase it.
Okay.
I
Yes.
never get rid of it. So I never
Well,
delete it.
that was never
So I
part
guess
of the
that
that
was-
was never part of
I
the
understand.
statement.
And that's what's interesting because you guys just taught me something about myself, which is super cool.
It is.
Is
I'm not
I-
arguing. I was not trying to argue
Believing
either.
a
You know this, Bro
desire
Fiki.
never exists for me. I always go back to so I wonder, yeah, for me, I thought immediately of like you go back to the drawing board as though the original
That's-
plan isn't possible. It's okay. So
It's-
I guess I never understood that.
Yeah, it's always possible.
That's the point of this
Yeah.
show, though, man. It's how
This
you
is
perceive
cool,
it, and the
man.
fact that that's where your mind went is impressive.
Yeah.
Because I don't think of it as that, but I see the way that you just explained it,
Mhm.
referencing
Really?
to
Oh,
that
man.
statement.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was super cool. I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yes. Going back to the drawing board. Okay, so back
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
day,
what do you got?
yeah, drawing board. Now, when I think of going to the drawing board, I'm thinking of what we're doing right now. I'm thinking of the message is there, the content's there, but
Mhm.
my drawing board is the algorithm. What is the peak hours that I'm getting the most content? When am I getting my most reach? Is there
Mhm.
certain titles and things that I'm doing or using or hashtags that are getting a bigger reach? Maybe there's groups on Facebook that I could get more reach with. The drawing board is no longer a physical thing anymore. It's now platforms. I guess it is physical kind of, but it's things that are being created as we're doing them. Like I can go back after the show and I can look at all that and break it down into when I had the most views through the duration of the show.
Mhm.
And that's it. It's tweaking the processes, not erasing them completely.
Yeah.
As Bro Fiki was seeing it, and I'm really glad that he thought of it as that, though, because it definitely shows how different people perceive these these statements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think with the difference of our ways of looking at things, it's probably going to help a lot of people out. You know what I mean?
I hope
Right.
so.
Right. I love the concept of this show, man, because I love how different
do
our views
I.
are. Do you? It's your first time on here. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man.
I love this so much. So I've dedicated just the other day. I verbalized this, and so when I say something out loud or I share something with somebody, I really mean it. Like I like conviction. Speak with conviction.
Yeah.
Right? Stand with conviction. Like even earlier, my son's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "You don't mean that. That was automated. Like, don't apologize." Like, just one of those things. But now I'm just like, okay, I'm committing as of yesterday to get on and do a TikTok live and or join someone's at least once a day.
I got you, man. We can all hear you. Just nobody that's actually watching the show can hear you, so you're good. You just let me know when you're ready. This is perfect timing because we still got I got one more, and then we're gonna, maybe both of you can share some. You ready? Okay.
Where
We'll just
Word.
keep talking for a second. Anyways, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things where like I made up my mind. I thought it. I didn't write it, but I spoke it out loud, and I just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. But like I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I just haven't been ready. And I haven't been ready because I haven't wanted to be ready. And why? Because I thought that there was other things that I needed to do. And I'm like, no, going back to the end of it, like I've always wanted to share my story. I just didn't know how. So although I had that desire 3 years ago now, 2022, when I got TikTok and I started making my first videos using my voice, then I wanted to find my voice because I was consuming content with the intention to be able to create my own content, right? That makes sense.
Right.
Consuming with the intention to create rather than creating things or consuming things just to consume them. That's a waste of fucking time and energy.
Right.
You know? So I tried a few things and I made some funny things and whatever. And then I realized like what my algorithm was,
You
what
ready?
worked and stuff. So that's just kind of where I'm at. It's like, I'm going to do this. Here we go. Go ahead.
Right.
Nice.
Ja, are you ready to jump on? I don't know if you can hear me. Ja. Buddy, can you hear me? I think he's got his earbuds. I'm talking to you, buddy.
No, he can't hear you.
Dang it! I think he put earbuds in, and that messed it up. Jaw.
I'm a dragon.
It's all good.
Literally.
Hey, we're waiting on you, buddy.
I'm like, can I smoke on these? I'm like, oh wait, it's YouTube. Of course
Don't
I
do
can.
it. Can you hear? Can you hear us?
There he is. There he is.
No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, I see that I'm on stage.
You are welcome to the stage, brother.
I don't think he's ready yet.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. You guys, we're gonna be in a little intermission here for a few minutes. I'd like to get him on here before we.
Did he take off?
Hello? No, he's trying to figure his stuff out. We're all
Okay.
good.
All right, so that was 4.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I still have one more to go. Hey, Jaw, can
Okay.
you hear us yet? Jaw, I hear you breathing. No. Do you have earbuds in? Maybe it's your earbuds. When he first came on, I could hear him fine.
I think he took off. Maybe he'll come back.
It's fine. He'll come back. We'll watch. Just wait a second.
All right.
I'm excited to have him on. And he's going to be one of the newest additions to JG's Lounge. So I really am
Sweet.
excited
That's
to
amazing.
introduce you
That's
guys.
amazing.
Yeah, I really am
Welcome.
excited
It's a
to.
beautiful experience.
Absolutely. So,
All
you
right, so
wanna-
I'll throw a wild
There-
card if you want.
there he is. There he is.
Okay.
Can you
Here we
hear
go.
us now?
I can.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Okay, I
There
can
we
hear
go.
you. You can't. I can't hear you though. So you can hear us, but we can't hear you.
I can hear-
heard
No.
it.
No, well,
I
you
can
can
hear.
hear me, right?
Oh yeah, now I can hear you. We're good.
Yeah,
We're
there
good.
we
There you go. Welcome to the show, man.
Yo,
Well,
yeah,
hey,
thanks
so-
for having me, guys.
I want
Yeah.
to introduce you, Ja. So next to me is Evolution. He's one of my admins on JG's Lounge.
Hey, Ja. Nice to meet you.
And then next
up?
to you is Brofiki. He is also one of my admins on JG's Lounge.
Oh,
Hello.
sweet. I'm meeting
So
the
you're
crew.
you're meeting my crew, man. And Ja is going to be a new addition, or at least a company too. Whatever, we're not sure yet. I'm
We're gonna
helping you
figure it
out.
Yeah.
We're
nice.
making big
Hell
things
yeah.
happen. Ja has a show called Share Your Knowledge that he does live on
Ooh.
TikTok, which is how I met him.
Nice.
I love this.
Amazing guy, and dude, I mean, my experience with you has been amazing. So
Feelings
say
are
the
mutual,
least.
my friend.
yeah. So we are talking about life idioms. I've got one more to go, and then we're going to give Brofiki the opportunity to share one. And if you have one you want to discuss, we'll do that. Sound
Life
Yes.
idioms.
good? Life
Yes.
idioms.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the term idiom?
I am.
Okay. So for my last one is a penny saved is a penny earned. I think that as a kid growing up, that didn't really mean a lot to me. And as I'm an adult now, when I go to clean up my car and find 6 dozen, pennies just shriveled up in the corner and they mean nothing, I think that should start mattering more now, especially with the cost of living going up the way that it is. I do know that as I work and make a paycheck, I'm constantly thinking about where those pennies are going, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
It's about, where's my priorities? What's my finances? Where do I need to invest? And then what do I have left over? That's kind of my mindset when I think of a penny saved as a penny earned now versus as a kid where it's just like a penny's a penny and doesn't mean nothing.
Hmm.
What you got?
Well, as you were talking, I was thinking about that the penny where you double it every day
Yeah.
and see how much it calculates at the end of the month. Which I guess that's kind of like a penny saved is a penny earned. The power of the penny.
Yeah.
People don't realize, how important saving is, and how it can get you to where you're trying to go if you do it in the right way. You don't have to do anything drastic, like save 50% of your earnings. But if you take like a penny and double it every day, which should be easy to do, you would think.
It's easier. It's pretty easy to drop them in the corner of my car.
Right. Just try to drop them in a jar or something that may help you out a little bit better. And the more you do that, the more you get accustomed to it, and the more it becomes practice and habit. And before you know it, you got a stack of pennies, which turn into dollars and so on and so forth.
Right.
That's kind of what I got on that.
Bro Fiki, what you got, man?
All right, so I look at money as a source of energy, not a source of currency to buy or spend or save or earn, right? So instead of it a penny saved is a penny earned, it should be a penny earned could be a penny saved. But for me, it's like energy in versus energy out, input versus output. So a penny to me is an experience. So like I can save that memory and always think of it all the time, or I can put it away where it's more valuable, right? So for example, if we're talking about giving, so I have a bunch of these gold dollar 20, so there's $25 in each one
Yeah.
of these.
Yeah.
So I'll take change, I'll go to the bank and I'll buy gold dollar rolls. So this is $25. And so like I
Okay.
have like thousands of dollars in coins rather than looking at pennies. They're still coins because they're harder to spend, but it's still worth the value. So to me, it's like just stacking up, saving these because they're worth something, right? And they're actually
Right.
worth more than $1 because of what they are. But I look at this as like a penny to me is a breath. A breath in and a breath out is a penny because to us, like a penny is kind of like whatever. We can throw them away, whatever. Like they're not really that valuable. If you think about it though, pennies are the foundation of every experience. Without a penny at the smallest amount of what something is worth is a penny. Therefore, it's the most valuable, right? And the most valuable coins today are pennies that were made literally. Like if you were to go to an auction house right now for pennies, it's like 1963 if they're made of certain, elements, right? They're worth thousands of dollars. A penny that says 1 cent on it is worth thousands of dollars. So
Right.
pennies are worth more than $100 bill ever will be. So to me, it's every experience is just as valuable or expensive as the next experience, and it's energy. So I don't look at money as money. I look at the more I have, the more I spend. The more I spend, the more I have, and that's literally my life right now. Like I used to live paycheck to paycheck until I got out of that mindset, and I'm like, you know what? Somebody asked me one time, they're like, "What is the value of your experience here?" And I spent like 5 weeks with somebody, and I'm like, I need $13,333.33 for this experience, and everything that happens because that's how I'm valuing my time. I'll give you 4 days out of 7 days a week, as much as you want me on those days. And so they wrote me a check, and that was that. And ever since then, I'm like, that's my value. What do you need? This is how much it costs to do this. I'm going to take what I need.
I like
That's
it.
just me.
I like it. Ja, I'm curious. While you're sitting there pondering and listening.
A lot of things have been going through my mind as you all speak.
Hmm.
I even took the time to look up some idioms, which I'm not going to use. But the whole
like
penny saved, penny earned thing, I mean, sure, saving can help, right? But what about investing it?
Right. And we talked about that earlier on as well. Yeah, investing that penny.
Investing versus transactions.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like your whole coin theory. It's quite fascinating to hear and see that you're actually doing that. That's interesting.
Thank you. Coins for coins, and then just putting them on the shelf. Yeah.
I mean, you're right. That roll of coins does look a lot better than the individual penny.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like how cool is that? This is $25 that I can physically hold, and it has weight to it. I can feel it. This is $25.
Right.
Versus, here we go. Versus what? So I have like $25 right here. This I will cherish this. This means nothing. It's weightless to me. I'd rather hold it and feel it and own it. Like this, I can hold. I can fucking. I will cherish this.
Yeah.
But this has no weight to it.
Right.
This does, and that's why I carry coins in my pocket every day that aren't currency.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
That's one way to put it.
Do you have anything you want to add to that, Ja, or no?
No, I'm good.
Okay. How about you, Evolution? Do you want to add more before we hear Brofikis?
Yeah. I want to touch on when he went to his explanation of the penny being the foundation. Um, I thought that was clever as well. Rafiki has a very unique way of looking at things, which I like to hear his thoughts. Um, but that's so true. Without the penny, you can't have any of those other uh, uh, type of currency,
Right.
which makes the penny the building block,
Right.
of money. So I think that's very important, and that's actually the first time I ever heard somebody explain it that way.
Yeah, that was good.
So
Ones and zeros. Everything is ones and zeros.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. So I really like that, and it definitely got my wheels ticking. So
That was good. All right, Rafiki, you said you got some idioms for us, man. What you got?
Uh-oh.
Jaws
right.
like, man, why did I jump on this?
Let's go.
All right,
Okay.
so here's
Show
my
it off.
idiom. Okay, so this is the most valuable coin that I carry in my pocket every once in a while. It's only 10 of these were given out in the United States by the Command Sergeant Major of the Army for recruiting, and I got this in 2008 as being one of the top recruiters in 2008 for the United States Army. So it's an unofficial award that's worth more than anything.
Nice.
It got mailed to me, which was super cool. And then I carry this coin that is Memento Mori on one side and then Carpe Diem on the other side. So do you choose Vitality, right? Or, oh my God, Mortality. Vitality or Mortality coin. I carry this in my fifth pocket every day in my jeans. And people forget about what the fifth pocket is, right? So it's still built in your jeans. It's still there because it's patent. It was meant for pocket watches. We don't carry pocket watches anymore, but we still have that fucking pocket. Most people don't even know that. That's why women don't have them, because women didn't have pocket watches because that was a masculine energy trait. So here's my idiom.
Okay,
And this
what's your
goes
idiom?
back to the generation now is I can't even.
Uh,
I don't know that I consider that an idiom as just a terrible statement.
It actually is in modern society.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've heard. Don't get me
Dude,
wrong. I hear it all the
can't.
time.
I can't.
I can't
I
even,
can't.
man. I can't even.
That's the point. And so here's the whole phrase. I can't even, so I am
Right
odd.
now.
I can't even
Right.
because I am odd.
hmm.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn the language of my kids, right? So I have a daughter that's almost 18. I have one that's almost 15, and my son's almost 10. So
Right.
keeping up with them, it's not about our idioms of what we grew up with, it's their idioms, even though we don't classify them as idioms in our existence because it's just silly. This is a perfect example. It's theirs.
Okay.
Kind of just like, Sigma. What is Sigma?
I don't even know what a Sigma is.
It's a Sigma male, so it's equivalent to an alpha male without roles and responsibilities. It's Mufasa in the new movie. I'm a Sigma male.
So are
Like,
you
I
saying
can
are
walk-
you saying that kids reference that as like a lack of responsibility? Like, no, I can't
Yes.
even. Okay.
Yeah, or they can't comprehend something, or they can't agree, or they can't disagree. It's just that is their constant one, where it's like, go back to the drawing board is the same as I can't even. It's ironic, right? Because there's
Yeah.
honestly no logic in that. So it's an illogical reference to a referenced reference of an information feedback loop that is just recurring.
Well, I don't think that needs to exist if you're disciplining properly. Like, I think that there's a difference between physical discipline and just, having like an enforced, rules and chores and stuff for your child that I can't even shouldn't even be in their vocabulary if you're, teaching them and training them and guiding them to be on the right path.
Let me take a stab at this.
Please do.
I think maybe I'll take this direction. I'm looking at I can't even as a level of toleration, uh, because
Yeah.
our youth their span of attention is so short, and their effort that they put towards anything that's outside of their uh, area of interest, it's not something they're willing to dedicate energy to. So I think when they say I can't even, it's like uh, their level of toleration. Now, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to mess with that. I just don't want to dedicate any of my time or effort towards that. That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So
What you
I
got,
use
Kyle?
the phrase in synchronicities, like when I'm like, I can't make this shit up, I say I can't even. So I
Uh-huh.
cannot,
Uh,
as in a positive thing. Anyway,
Okay.
what you got, Ja?
Too much. First of all, I can't is in everybody's
Vocabulary. Yeah.
And don't we all not focus our energy in certain areas that we're not interested in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
understand.
so I agree with the whole I can't being, what did you say it was? I forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Evolution,
Oh, I
Evolution.
said, yeah, go for it.
the level of toleration.
Yes, that's how I use it.
Mhm.
Yes.
So when
Okay.
something is going on and not vibing with it, I can't even.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I've heard you say it in your lives.
Oh, many times.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a negative reference.
That's good.
And I'm hip to what the kids are doing these days, man. I'm keeping up with the lingo.
Uh-huh.
I do. I like the tolerance level concept of it.
Yeah, I like that
But-
one too.
I feel like, giving the kids as much of an experience as you possibly can on that is just a different view from what you guys are saying.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like that's just the way that my mind goes with it, I guess. Just
Mhm.
like with him thinking you're erasing a chalkboard.
Right.
Yeah, that was wild. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Ja, did you find an idiom you wanted to share or no?
I did not. I
Okay.
definitely wasn't prepared for this.
That's
and,
fine. That's
got
fine though.
nothing.
So
That's
what do
good.
you think so far, Ja?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said, what do you think of it so far? What we're doing?
What do I think of what you guys are doing? Well, I would.
He didn't really. Well, how much of it? How much did you watch?
So I was in and out. I watched the first probably 15 minutes or so, and then
Okay.
the last 20 minutes or so before I came in.
Mhm.
So I could only really speak on so far what we're doing since I came on.
Okay.
Just to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So as far as what do I think about what you guys are doing, I think it's creative.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I would say a little stale. Could be spiced up a little bit.
You missed the spice. You must not have been here for the spicy parts, Scott.
I missed the
I got
jalapeno
some.
peppers.
Yes.
I got a peppercini for you after you're done. Just because you said that, I'm
Those
going to
pepperoncinis are actually spicy.
They can be.
No,
If they're
pepperoncinis
simmered,
aren't spicy.
oh, if they're simmered in a fucking slow cooker overnight with a roast, bomb. So good.
Really?
So the whole idea of this show, Ja, is really to talk about quotes that were given as we were growing up and kind of how we perceived them. And that's the whole purpose of the show. It's because and we all end up with different like views on the same quote.
Kind of like the Bible.
Exactly. Religion in general.
Oh,
Yeah.
then I do have one. Like
What
a
you
real
got?
one.
Okay.
Hustle harder.
Hustle harder.
Yeah. Hustle harder.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's what most of us on here do on the daily basis.
Yeah.
I don't. Not anymore. I don't work harder.
I hustle smarter, Holmes.
Intentional. Yeah. So I focus. I created something different for me. So it's intentional connections. So Juke, like what I've been focusing on with astrology, astronomy, synchronicities, human design, plexing, the CCRU, like the Lemurian numogram, it's all about intentional connections. That's why I like working with you, because you're a Marian Jubilee baby, because you were born in 88, but you're not a dragon. I'm, or actually we're both born in the year of the dragon. So looking at every single chart and overlapping them, I've been intentionally connecting with people, and I just connected with a Capricorn, right? So his birthday is 1/8/88. And so intentional connections with energy, time, resources, thoughts, ideas, activities, conversations, using the Lemurian numogram through a book that's worth thousands of dollars that you can't find anymore, that was given to me by my friend's son by accident.
Right.
Hmm.
Intentional
John and I
connections.
connected because he disagreed with what I was saying, and we just got along. That's literally what it was. I think I was something.
You're a
Orbit
fire sign, so of course, for one.
I think I just like the challenge of being on the other side of the conversation.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
I
I
think
like
I go out of my way to look for things that I don't agree with. I just actually noticed that when you guys were all talking. I heard
You're
him
like-
say something. I heard him say something. I'm like, wait, hold on. And then I'm like, wait, why am I doing that? I'm like,
Because
that's
of
what I'm supposed to be
balance.
doing.
Mhm. That's fine.
It's
Though, man. I mean,
balance.
it works though, and like your live performance and how you carry yourself is fantastic. You're blunt. You're honest. You give people an
Thank you.
opportunity to jump on, but then you're like, hey, I'm gonna boot you. We got other people we gotta get on. You're blunt to the point, but you can talk. You got people like Brofiki, very strategic, very his mind's everywhere at once, but he can stop and focus on one thing if necessary. And then you got Evolution up here. He is very well read, does his research, and comes up with back ideas that I wouldn't think of as well. So everybody plays a point.
I see him up there. I actually like his style because he's quiet until it's his turn to speak, and then he has a great thought out source of communication that's coming next. I mean, I see you taking notes. I see you paying attention to the details of the conversation, and then you stay on the topic and you directly hit every part of it, and I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
So everybody plays a part in the network, and it's great. I mean, the community itself, JG's Lounge, has grown so amazingly. And like I've told you, John, with helping you build what you're about to launch your podcast, my man, you don't have to do it through JG's network. It's just an opportunity for you. But I'm always happy to help you succeed, because if you succeed, I'm succeeding. And that's what this is all about. So I mean, I'm happy that you get the opportunity to meet some of these other admins that we have on the network.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
pleasure to meet you as well.
Yeah.
Don't get started
Together we
somewhere.
rise.
Yeah. And with that being said, that is the end of the show. John, you
Wait.
only caught the last.
Whoa, no,
Wait,
no, it's
hold
not.
on.
I have one
Evolution said we're not done yet. Hold on.
I've got one more.
Okay. Oh, do you
Okay.
really?
Yeah. I
Oh
got
yeah,
one
we
more.
jumped
It's
to
only
we jumped to
five, bro.
Brofiki. Then we were having his
I was
mic
a wild
issues.
card because we were waiting for John to
Yeah,
get on.
yeah. That's right. Okay, anyways, okay, one more idiom to wrap this up.
Absolutely.
Evolution, the floor is yours.
This
How
better be
dare you.
good, bro.
It better be good, or Jaw's gonna just turn his camera off.
Better
Yeah,
late
it's-
than never. Better late than never.
Never, Jaw.
John wants to say something. What do you got?
I can't, dude. I can't even.
I will say this. Did you want to continue, John, or that was it?
No. This is your show right now. You take the floor. It's all yours.
So this is great.
This is perfect.
perfect. This is what I was talking about right here. Thank you. Thank you for the validation, bro.
So this is an actual occurrence that happened to me when I was going to school. I lived a long way from the school, so depending on what time I left my house was depending on how traffic was on my way there.
Mhm.
This particular day, I left on time. It was just weird, and literally, I drove right through an accident as it was happening. And it was the wickedest thing you could ever imagine, because it was like slow motion, and I'm seeing cars in front of me like starting to crash into each other, and there's a semi on the right lane in front of me, and I'm like driving by the semi as cars are running into the semi, and then I look behind me, and then there's cars like jamming on their brakes and hitting the semi and bouncing off, and cars are going everywhere. And I kid you not, I drove right through the middle of that, right?
Hmm.
So I make it to my class. I'm a little late. So I go in there, and professor's teaching and whatnot. And then I go to my seat, and the professor stops teaching. And he's like, well, you disrupted the class. I'm like, you talking to me? He's like, yeah, you owe the class an apology because you disrupted the class. I said, no, actually, I came in quietly and sat down. Better late than never. I'm here. Uh, you don't know what I experienced to get here, so I'm here. The only person that interrupted the class was you. You stopped teaching. So,
Yeah.
uh, and that turned into a whole debate that was centered on me. And people that know me know not to corner me into the corner because I come out like a mad lion, right? Uh,
Rawr.
so we're going back and forth because I'm not going to back down. I'm not wrong. I
Mhm.
came to class like I'm supposed to be here. My tuition pays your salary. Your job is to teach the class. Get off my back before it gets worse, right?
Right.
So eventually, because he just wanted to keep digging into me, so I said, you know what? I said, I'm bigger than that. I'm just going to leave. You do what you got to do. So I left him looking stupid. But the reason I brought that up is because the statement that I made, I said, hey, better late than never, right?
Right.
To me, that should have been the end of the conversation between him and me, and his disrespect for the class, and also his disrespect to try to make me look like I was the person causing the problem. But we just totally disagreed in that. But I did what I could to get to the class. That was my job. I got there, and with all intentions to get what I could the rest of the class, but that professor for some reason just disturbed all that. So that one didn't work out. But I was late, but I did what I had to do to get there, and because of that scenario, I was not able to finish the class. I just removed myself from the situation so that the class could be taught. You know what I'm saying? I was the bigger person. So that's kind of what I got on that. But anytime you put an effort into uh, doing something, things may happen to interfere with your punctuality.
Right.
But you just have to begin to get there anyway, because I've been in situations where I couldn't find a parking space or I couldn't find a location I was going to. And when I finally got there, I was late. But literally, when I got there, I received some valuable information that I wouldn't have received had I not been there at all.
Right.
So for those scenarios, yes, it's better. It was better for me to even go, even though I was late, instead of saying, "Hey, I can't find this place. Screw it. I'm going on with my life." I was able to get some valuable things and meet some valuable people to make the rest of my life better. So it was definitely better to be late than never. That's what I got.
So for me, like the idea of being better late than never, for me, it's more of a negative aspect, and I'm not. Your situation is different though, because it's not like you did it all the time. Now,
Mhm.
had you showed up to class every day late,
Mhm.
I don't care what your excuse is. But if it's just a once in a lifetime thing, that's one thing. But for me, it's a 35-minute drive to work. I know how long it takes me. I leave an
Mhm.
hour early in case something happens.
Mhm.
That way I have that window of opportunity to get where I need to be on time, or call if something happens that's going to keep me from being on time.
Mhm.
So I don't like the feeling of being rushed. So like I think better late than never for me is more like pushing the limits or procrastinating and stuff like that. Like if you, let's say any of us were like, you know what, we want to learn something else. Going to school, better late than never. Sure, that's fine. We can still go to school and learn things. But
Mhm.
if you're talking about like careers or like appointments or meetings or saying I'm going to do this, and you're repetitively late, or
Mhm.
then that's not a positive thing. There's
Mhm.
always the opportunity of doing it once in a blue moon, but when it's repetitive,
You
Jaws,
also don't go into a college class when a professor is giving a lecture and tell them, "Hey, better late than never."
Well, I only said that because he made remarks when I came in.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
So
go.
He,
I-
"Hey,
he
guys,
kind of
I'm
puts you
late,"
on the
and
spot, right?
Yeah,
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 it would
yeah,
have
yeah,
been different if it was after class in 101.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it
yeah.
definitely depends on how many times you have to say that.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Correct.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Right. I think it depends on if it's a repetitive situation or not.
mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
Okay. Bro,
Because when I
Fiki,
heard that, the first thing I went to was like, "Oh, another excuse for being late." Like, "Oh, here we go."
Right.
And
Yeah,
then it goes
I got
back
a
to,
thing
like,
about
how,
being
how
on time,
often.
man. I do not like to be late.
yeah,
Right.
I'm usually very punctual. If I'm not early, yeah, I'm usually there 10 minutes early.
Mhm.
So
That's the goal.
yeah,
That's what they
yeah,
teach you in the military. 10 minutes early is on time, and anything after that is you're late. Even if you're
Mhm.
on time, you're late. Yeah, that was ingrained in my brain.
But like you explaining the situation and it being a one-off thing is
Mhm.
obviously
You
an
still should have
excusable
left
situation.
earlier that morning, bro.
You never would have. You wouldn't have had to drive through the crash.
I
The
feel
crash
like
would
this
have.
guy
You never would
is
have
like
saw
a
the crash.
Libra, or he's an air sign for certain. This guy, or he's either a Capricorn or a Libra is what my vibes are off the bat. We don't need, I know that's rhetorical. That's just something fun. Okay,
Do you
so
want me
my
to
take
rain on your parade?
Yes, do it.
Yeah, please do.
I'm
I don't have a parade.
It's Pisces.
Pisces.
Same.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what
Pisces
you
are
got?
all right. So here's mine. So I'm gonna rephrase what you said though. Okay. So you
Mhm.
said better late than never. Mine is
Mm.
same concept, okay, but different idiom. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not.
It's
I'm in English
better
right now.
to have loved than not loved at all. Is the same to me as better late than never. So this is where I have like where I'm at. So better late than never is meeting somebody. It's better late to meet someone than never. No, I disagree with that. It's not. I would rather not show up and not be late. I would rather be absent than be late. I would rather be absent and not show up and take that hit over a tardy. I'd take an absent,
Hmm.
100%.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So, somebody's
I
at my
mean,
door.
I
Hold
hear
on.
what you're saying, but I just don't agree.
Hold on a second. Somebody's at my door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So
well,
ex-
Tell him
explain
you're
what
busy, bro.
explain yourself, bro, Jukebox.
I don't agree with that statement. It just doesn't.
Explain
They
yourself.
don't. They just don't line up. And to me, like I don't see the connection like he does. I think it's all
No
about love.
way.
Like Jaw is. It's all about love, man. It doesn't matter about like the time when you meet him, but it shouldn't be about whether it's late. It's all about being the right time, right? If
Whoa.
you meet somebody at the time, well, yeah, where'd those hearts come from?
Yeah, that was cool.
Somebody say some hearts. I've never seen that. Somebody's watching you.
There it is.
There it is.
Look at that.
Does it do it for all of us? Nope. Somebody just sent
just-
new hearts, man. Love it. But no, I think that the way that he is wording it does. I think maybe he has a different way of. I don't know. He's phrasing it wrong. in my
We're about to
opinion.
find out, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Jack, come get the headset. I want to hear your view. He's not interested.
He can't hear you.
That's his boy, Jack. What about you, Ja? I mean, you've already kind of touched on it, but do you agree with what Brofiki just said?
No, those two don't go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Better to have loved than to never have loved, or better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
Right.
I
don't think it's.
absolutely
I
love
don't think
that
it's a matter of.
saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of timing. It's just it happens. It's not about being better later or anything. It's just
I
love
would
is
agree.
love.
Yeah.
What you got? You're
On
writing
that
something.
note,
Yeah, you're writing something over there.
Yeah. I can't get that connection either. That's a bit of a stretch for me as well. It's just, to me, that's two totally different subjects. I can't even find a way to relate
I'm
those.
with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should just light that paper on fire and forget about it.
You know what? We're gonna make him.
No.
We're gonna make him. Hold on. All right, our Brofiki. While you were gone, we all agreed to disagree with your statement. So please explain.
All right, so mine is this. So I went to college and I changed my my focus, right? My main, whatever the fuck it's called, 3 times. So at first I
Major?
wanted to do, I changed my major 3 times. So I have 212 college credits and I don't have a degree.
Mhm.
That's more than a master's degree. Okay. I should have a double bachelor's close to, or at least a master's or a doctorate, but I don't because I changed my major 3 times.
You left
But I
the
kept-
class like
Yeah, and
evolution
so
did.
everyone's like, "Oh, you need to finish this." Well, they changed everything where it's like master's degree or equivalent on job applications because it's based off experience. So I essentially have like 2 master's degree based off of 15 years of experience in my career field as a solutions engineer and architect. So my experience right now in the state of Utah, my salary is $200,000 a year to do what I do. Low end is 160. That's how I can value an hour of my time is worth $476.37.
You're
But
bragging.
I don't. No, I'm not. I'm giving you an
I'm-
example.
I'm joking. Go
But I
ahead.
don't have a degree. So everyone's like, well, why don't you finish this? And I'm like, I'd rather not finish it to prove a point.
Right.
And the point is you don't need the piece of paper to have the experience. So for me, it's like to love or to not love, to like be late than never. Like I would rather just never show up than be late. That's me. That's my personal opinion because mine is based off of emotionality and relationships as a Pisces because I got fucked with the emotions, whatever. So to me, it's like, did I need that experience? No, I could have gone without it. Like, did I need that? No, I could have gone without it because I have plenty of other experiences that I could have learned the same lesson from. You know what I mean? That's just me. That's why
I just
I'm
don't
glad
see-
you guys disagree.
No, I just
I'm
and that's all.
happy that you
That's
do.
literally the whole purpose of the show. The
Yes.
thing is that I don't see how it connects with Better Late Than Never.
I would because is it necessary for you to show up because you can get cliff notes, you can talk to a classmate if you miss class.
Well,
So
no,
do you
because
need to show up?
like what you said, I went to culinary school, and I went right into the restaurant industry. I graduated from community college. I had a grant to go to a 4-year, and I instead of doing that, I had a job offer to just go directly into the field. So I skipped that. So I get what you're saying as far as like not completing, just, going in a different direction or whatever. But I just don't see the connection between the two statements. That's all.
So I could finish my degree now, which is late,
Yeah, better late than
Right.
never. Yeah.
to have that equivalency of 15 years experience with a piece of paper. Or I can just go to somebody that will value my experience at the same level of that. So I never need to finish my degree because I still have the same value of life experience. So I would say never. And
Okay,
that's
so
my example.
so I get that, but I think earlier before you had to step away, you compared that to better to have loved than to never have loved at all, and
Yes.
I think that's where we were kind of thrown.
Oh
They
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
make
yeah.
the
So,
connection.
so it's like if you have the opportunity to connect with somebody and to love somebody, I would choose not to. So to love college and your degree and your education versus not, I would rather not because
So
if
are you
weren't
referencing it
exposed
as
to
are you referencing it as a commitment rather than the emotion of love?
I think the whole concept of better late than never is somebody that never experiences love versus somebody that does. Because once you experience something and you have it and you're aware of it, then you're without it, then you'll have a lack mindset of whatever it is. Whereas you're better off without having that because then you're like, oh, I didn't miss out. Because that's what we deal with in reality is the fear of missing out. Right. But if you're not aware of something, then you're okay. But if you're aware of something like, oh, fuck, I missed that concert. Oh, shit, I missed that movie. Oh, man, I didn't listen to that. I would rather not know that that existed because once somebody says something and mentions it to me, I'm like, oh, man, I missed out.
John, what are you doing, man?
I was just trying to really get what he was saying. You know, so just trying to figure him out.
Good luck.
Bro Fiki is a whirlwind of mystery, my friend. He's a great guy, though.
I believe that John's weathering the storm of Brofiki right now.
That was one of the idioms earlier. I can't even right now.
Welcome to your event horizon with me, man. I'm so sorry. We'll see you on the other side.
So is that it?
But
Are we all
but
done?
your actions, John, they really spoke louder than words. I like that.
Maybe we need to go back to the drawing board with this one.
Absolutely.
Let's go wipe the drawing board and start over, guys.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that
I
was.
think we're good.
This was one hell of an episode. Ja, thank you for the last minute join. Sorry if we kind of confused the shit out of you there for a minute.
I tell you what, Ja, it was better. You were late than never. I appreciate you.
I love
Hey, man,
it.
you might have got more from this than you realized, so don't count your chickens before they hatch.
All right, hey everybody that's tuned in tonight, we appreciate you. Rafiki, thank you for being a guest, and Ja, thank you so much for jumping on. This is the first time that we've actually had guests on this episode, and it's been fantastic. So I appreciate both.
Oh,
of you.
cool.
Thank you both.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. And everybody that's listening and tuning in or will be later on, we appreciate you, and we will always see you another time. Thank you
And
so
Absolutely.
if I ever see you two on TikTok, you can share some knowledge.
That's right. Hey, you know what? I'm going to
Absolutely.
share your live
I will.
tonight to both of them, and they're going to be on it.
I just started doing lives again. I'm down. I'm down.
Do it.